Hello, my lovely muggles. Bellatrix Lestrange here, bringing you 5 tasty treats inspired by the wizarding world of Harry Potter. You guys might remember last year we posted a video featuring some tasty treats from the books, including these amazing pumpkin pasties, these really delicious treacle tarts, and of course, butterbeer. And you seem to really enjoy it. So this year we are taking it right over the top with 5 brand new recipes, including this sweet spiced pumpkin juice, these tongue-searing acid pops, these hopping chocolate frogs with a delicious surprise in the center, some adorable ginger newts, and some butterbeer truffles shaped like golden snitches. It is going to be one delicious ride, so I hope you've got your tickets ready. I'll meet you on platform 9 3/4. First up, we are making some pumpkin juice that is pure perfection this time of year and really, really great for serving at a party. This one, of course, starts with some pumpkin puree in my blender. To that, I am adding some classic pumpkin spice, a splash of vanilla extract, and a whole lot of apple cider. Now, I really should mention, here in North America, the apple cider we drink does not have alcohol in it, but I know across the pond in the UK, all of your apple cider comes as booze, so you're always welcome to opt for some apple juice in this recipe if you want to keep it liquor-free. But if you're anywhere in the world and you do want to serve this spiked for a more adult affair, I would highly recommend adding a few splashes of spiced rum. And there you have it, pure pumpkin juice, the perfect thing to tame your taste buds after these tongue-twisting acid pops I'm about to show you. These little green goodies couldn't be simpler to put together, but they certainly pack quite the pucker. We're getting started with some nice sour suckers. All I'm going to do is dip them in a little bit of honey to get them nice and sticky, and then I'm going to roll them in some Pop Rocks. You can imagine when you put one of these in your mouth, you get a lot of popping flavor and then also a bit of sour. These acid pops are so potent, they had to be contained. These absolutely riveting chocolate frogs are totally amazing. Sorry everyone, the frog puns are aplenty around here. These tasty little treats all start with this amazing frog candy mold. I found this one online. I will leave a link in the description box below if you want to get one of your very own. It was actually really affordable. Now, what I love about this is it's actually got 2 different frog designs. Always great. Variety is the spice of life after all. And basically what we're going to do is fill the mold with some chocolate. So I've got some chocolate candy melts in a double boiler here. I'm just going to melt these until they're completely smooth, and then I'm going to transfer them to a piping bag. The reason I do this is because a piping bag makes them a lot easier to fill carefully. Otherwise, if you're trying to do this with a spoon, you can really just end up making a hot mess. So I highly recommend a piping bag or a zipper bag. You can just pour your chocolate in and then snip off the edge, and you have this really controlled chocolate flow. Now, because as Bellatrix, I am a maiden of mischief and a firm believer in the dark arts, I decided to make these frogs extra special by placing an every flavor bean into the center of each. You might get strawberry flavor, or you could get vomit. You might get boogers, or you could get watermelon. It's basically like roulette for your taste buds. Every flavored beans for every flavored person. What will we get next? It's a can of tuna. I'm just going to fill the rest of my mold with more chocolate, tap it on the counter a few times to get rid of any of the air bubbles, and then pop this beauty into the fridge for just about 10 minutes. After just 10 minutes, these chocolate frogs will be all set up and ready to hop onto a plate near you. Chocolate frog, are you ready? Chocolate frog sour milk. Gross. Next up, we have Professor McGonagall's very favorite, the ginger newt. Now, to make these wee ginger newts, you are going to need a newt-shaped cookie cutter, or a gecko, or a lizard, whatever reptile you want to refer to. You need a cookie cutter in that shape. You can find one of these online. Again, I'll link it in the description box below. I'm making my ginger newts with a classic gingerbread cookie recipe, so they are really, really tasty on top of being totally adorable. I'm going to start by whisking up my dry ingredients. So I've got my flour in my bowl, and to this, I'm going to add a little baking powder for some lift, or should I say leviosa. I've got some cinnamon, some ginger, some allspice, and some cloves. I'm going to give this all a good whisk and set it aside while I get to work on my wet ingredients. We're starting with some room temperature butter. To that, we are going to add some brown sugar. I'm going to use a hand mixer to beat this all together until it's nice and light and fluffy. Next, I am going to add some fancy molasses, a splash of vanilla extract, and 1 egg. Once that's all well combined, I'm going to slowly start adding my flour mixture in. I'm going to add half at a time. Towards the end of the mixing process, you may just want to get in here with your hands because it's going to form a nice thick dough, which is going to make it perfect because the next step is rolling it all out with a rolling pin. Once it's completely rolled out, you can start to make your newt shapes. Now keep in mind these have really thin arms and legs, so you may lose a limb along the way. Not to worry though, most newts are capable of growing their limbs back. We're going to transfer these very carefully onto a parchment-lined baking sheet and bake them at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 7 minutes or so. That's all they really need to set up and get nice and crispy. I cannot deny it. These are really delicious. Sweet and spicy, perfectly crisp, and I think best served with a nice big pint of butterbeer. Speaking of butterbeer, I believe that you have not lived until you have tried my Butterbeer Truffles, shaped like a golden snitch. Seriously guys, this one is going to blow your mind. So this recipe all starts with a vanilla cake. Now I just made a boxed cake and baked it according to package directions and then crumbled it all up into a bowl. You can see I just have a bunch of cake crumbs here. To that, I want to add a little bit of what I imagine to be butterbeer warmth and spice, and I'm going to do that with a sprinkle of ground ginger and some nutmeg. I'm going to toss that all together until it's well combined, and then I am going to add in some vanilla frosting and a good heaping helping of butterscotch sauce. Oh yeah. We're just going to give that all a good mix, and then it is time to form our truffles. To do that, I'm just going to use this handy dandy scoop and then roll it into a ball. I'm going to place all of my little truffle balls onto a parchment-lined baking sheet and then get them into the refrigerator for 10 or 15 minutes, just until they firm up a little bit. This is going to make coating them in candy a little bit easier. For our candy coating, I am going to be using some yellow candy melts. Now these can usually be found at a bulk food store or at a craft store. They're really, really easy to find. Once again, I've got a double boiler happening here, and I'm just going to melt them until they are nice and smooth. Next, I'm going to roll each of my truffle balls in my candy mixture until they are totally coated. And then to add just a little sparkle, I'm going to sprinkle on some gold sprinkles. How adorable are these already? To finish off each of my snitches, I of course need to add my wings. To do this, I'm adding these adorable little paper wings. I will link them in the description box below. You can just print them out and cut them out. I just basically pinch them on one end and then affix them with a couple of toothpicks. They are really sweet, but so super good. My lovelies, I hope you will give these tasty ideas a try. If you do, please tweet me, Instagram me, or Snapchat me a photo because it would make me so happy to see your Harry Potter creations. Keep in mind, all of these recipes are available in the description box below, so you can take a look for those there. Also, if you have not checked out our Harry Potter extravaganza from last year, you definitely should. There are more tasty recipes that I think you guys are going to adore. And finally, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe because there is lots more deliciousness and a little bit of magic where this came from. Sometimes things get a little mad around here, just mouth-wateringly mad.